Horticulture has been growing rapidly in Tanzania. However, the presence of crop pests such as Tuta absoluta has made the use of pesticides necessary, something that threatens the safety of biodiversity. Here is a report by Good Hope Amani, read by Faithan Gaga.
Kipera village, located at Mvomero district in Morogoro region, is famous for tomato farming. Tabia Omari, Samin Rashid and Rajabu Hamis have been tomato farmers for more than 30 years now. They say the increase in pests forces them to increase the use of different pesticides than how it was in the past.
Once you start farming, you use a lot of pesticides from the early stages to the harvesting stage. The pesticides for Tuta absoluta and others have to be brought on a weekly basis.
The pesticides are costly. The Tuta absoluta pests are troubling us.
As you can see, the harvesting season has started. In the past, we did not use pesticides, but now we must use pesticides for the tomato to turn out healthy. You have to use it every week. This is costly. The farmer uses a lot of money, but the profit is small.
Misuse as well as excessive use of pesticides are said to increase in modern farming. Mr. Vitalis Fabian is an agro-input dealer in Morogoro. He says the problem is that many farmers have been using their pesticides without following the required instructions, an issue that endangers the environment.
The farmer usually comes here with his own pesticides in mind. And so, when you try to ask him questions, you find out the pests and the pesticides don't match.
According to the Tanzania Plant Health and Pesticides Authority, TPHPA, the use of pesticides in agriculture is high, especially in the southern highlands and the regions of Iringa, Mbeya, Songwe, Ruvuma, and Njombe. Rafael Mwezi, an officer from Tanzania Plant Health and Pesticides Authority, says the biggest challenge is the presence of pesticides that are imported in the country illegally.
These challenges include the importation of pesticides illegally. You know, our country has many borders, so some dishonest traders import pesticides illegally. Therefore, we test the samples of pesticides in order to determine if they are of the required standard. After registration, we then conduct an experimental research on them to see if they meet the criteria. Afterwards, we conduct monitoring, technically known as post-surveillance.
Sokoine University of Agriculture has always been of help when it comes to agriculture, since a number of researches have been conducted here on how to improve farming. Here at the Institute of Pest Management, I meet Dr. Martin, who explains how pesticides affect biodiversity.
That pesticide, for instance, has been manufactured to kill Tuta absoluta, but it can also affect friendly insects such as bees and butterflies, whose job is to pollinate the crops. But also, the pesticides can affect water sources and the soil, since in the soil there is friendly insects whose job is to make it fertile. Therefore, pesticides affect biodiversity because it kills insects who are actually useful.
Furthermore, Dr. Martin says that alternative and relevant methods of controlling pests, if used properly, are very effective, as their studies confirm.
Researchers have come up with many alternative ways, including the making of these traps. These traps catch flies who attack fruits.
According to a study by RTI International, Tanzania is among the countries with the most biodiversity in the world, with more than 55,000 species proven to exist. There is a great need for farmers to focus on friendly ways to fight pests in order to reduce the heavy use of pesticides that can destroy biodiversity unintentionally and endanger human health.